College football is 12 days away, and the AP poll finally came out. There's some bad takes, and there's some pretty good ones. And it's pretty controversial, and I'm going to get into all of it in this video. Here are all the teams in order that received votes but did not crack the top 25. Clemson was 23rd in the coaches poll. Thank God they're not ranked here in the AP. They lost 9 guys to the draft. They were 7-6 last year. Nothing points to a better season. I think Florida should be in the top 25, but I'm not too mad about it as they're like a borderline top 25 team with John Summerall heading into his first season with the Gators. This doesn't really matter that much, but who is voting for Louisiana, Western Michigan, Liberty, New Mexico? Whoever is voting for those teams should be fired immediately. Also, the Virginia and Auburn disrespect is crazy. They should be much higher, if not in the top 25. Now to start the top 25, we have Missouri at number 25. I don't think they should be ranked, but I'm not too mad about it. Eli Drinkwitz has brought consistency to this program, but with a very hard schedule, I think it's going to be very hard for them to maintain their spot in the top 25. I think Louisville should be higher. Jeff Brom has brought them double-digit wins, seems like every season, and Lincoln Keenholz almost beat out Julian Sayin for the starting quarterback job at Ohio State last season. 23-21 all makes sense. Willie Fritz is in his third year at Houston. Iowa has won 7-9 games, it seems like every year under Kirk Ferentz. And Utah lost their head coach, Kyle Whittingham, to Michigan, but I have faith in Morgan Scalley for them to be just as good, maybe even better. Tennessee is at number 20. I expected them to be at 18 because that's where almost every single top 25 I've seen this preseason has had them. But not mad about it. It's fine. SMU is at number 19. I do not agree with Penn State being at number 18. They're basically Iowa State from the past couple seasons. Last year, Iowa State wasn't even in the top 25. Penn State, probably just a slightly better version of Iowa State. They took their whole team, basically, and obviously the coach. But I think people are just giving Penn State a boost in the rankings because of their easy schedule. Washington and Michigan follow them in the rankings. Those are probably their 2 hardest games outside of USC. Washington at number 17 is fine, but if you look at the gap between Michigan and Washington, 501 points for Washington, 718 points for Michigan. It's one tier to the next, even though it's 17-16. I expect big improvements from Michigan. Jerome Moore was a horrible head coach. He still got 9 wins out of that team last year. Kyle Whittingham was a great head coach, and he's working with a very talented roster. We have a tie at 15-14. BYU and USC, 2 pretty equal teams. I expect big years from both of them, and good job for ranking them correctly by the AP. Number 13, we have Alabama. They have a quarterback battle right now between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. It sounds like Keelan Russell will win the job, but it is definitely not decided. At 12 and 11, we have 2 very polarizing teams. Texas Tech was supposed to have Brendan Sorsby be their starting quarterback this season, but due to gambling issues, he is not eligible, and Will Hammond will be their starting quarterback. LSU is in year 1 with Lane Kiffin. They have so much talent coming in via the transfer portal, and we should know right away how good this team is because they have Clemson coming into town week 1, and they travel to Oxford, Lane Kiffin revenge game in week 3. We have 4 straight SEC teams from 11 to 8, LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. And there are 7 SEC teams in the top 13, which you think would prove that the AP has SEC bias, but I'm going to tell you guys a stat later that proves otherwise. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M all coming off of CFP appearances, hoping to do the same in 2026. And then if you look at the points again, there's a huge gap between Texas A&M and Miami. With every poll I've seen, it's basically Tier 2 is 13 through 8, and Tier 1 is 7 through 1. Miami is almost always number 7. But Indiana number 6 is ridiculous. They had an insane season last year. Not only did they win the championship as Indiana, but they went 16-0 and destroyed everyone in the process. And this year, their roster is more talented than last year. People think it's less talented because Mendoza's gone, Omar Cooper, all those guys are gone. But their transfer class is much better than last year. The thing is, Curcinetti always gets the best out of his players, and I expect him to do the same this year. We start out the top 5 with Texas at number 5. I think they're too low. They should be ahead of Notre Dame, Georgia. You could probably put them higher too. I wouldn't be mad if you put them 1. They have probably the most talented roster in the country. So maybe the AP doesn't trust Steve Sarkisian. I don't know. Notre Dame is at number 4. I think they're being overrated this offseason. I think they're going to have a season similar to last year. But I'm probably going to make a different video about that. So I'll get into it more then. Georgia just barely beats out Notre Dame for the number 3 spot. You can't not trust Kirby Smart. He's made the Bulldogs top 5 team basically every year of the 2020s decade. They won multiple championships, and there's no reason that this year should be any different. Oregon is at number 2. You have to trust Dan Lanning. And I said Texas has the most talented roster in the country, but if not them, Oregon's definitely up there. Ohio State is at number 1, and I think they're only there because of their logo. They have a very talented roster. Ryan Day is a good coach, but he's proven he can't win big games. And they lost 11 players at the draft. They lost 11 players at the draft, and last year, they weren't even a top team. Both of their big games, Indiana and Miami, they lost. So what makes you think this year will be better? And I said before that the AP is showing SEC bias by having 7 of its top 13 teams be from the SEC. But the SEC doesn't have any first place votes, which was crazy to me. Crazy. Ohio State had 40 first place votes, Oregon 14, Notre Dame 6, Indiana had 8 at the number 6 ranking, and Miami had 1 at 7. But that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.